Am I the a-hole for asking my fiancé to skip this year's Christmas family vacation because our baby's due? Plus updates. Original post. Context: I've gone to Florida with his family for the past 5 years for at least part of Christmas. Every other year, I return before him to spend Christmas Day with my family. This year is the first time in a long time that all the other siblings are able to overlap dates. My fiancé has major FOMO, which is why this is a sensitive subject. His parents have always been weird about keeping their family close. They've never said it outright, but little things suggest they don't consider me completely part of their family yet, since we aren't married. Also, my parents are away overseas dealing with a grandparent emergency. My mom has been kept in the loop though, and is trying to come back as soon as she can. My fiancé and I, 31 male and 31 female, are expecting our first baby due December 30th. His family has a vacation home in Florida, and they have gone every year during the holidays for about a month until after New Year. He agreed not to go this year because of the baby, but his family's insisting that he go and come back on the 28th, which is ample time before the baby is due. So he bought a ticket for December 15th to 28th. His reasoning is that his parents really want him there and his siblings will also be going. This is bothering me a lot more than I thought, because I know pregnancies are unpredictable, especially the last trimester, and if anything happens leading up to the due date, I need him there. My parents are away until December 26th, and my friends have their families, so I will be completely alone. The other reason, and I guess it's more selfish, is that I will be spending Christmas by myself. It's not the main reason why I'm bothered, but it's a small part of it. He's been spending Christmas every year in Florida since he was 15, and there will be many more trips after the baby is born. I don't know why he has to go this year. Anytime I bring it up, it results in a very uncomfortable fight about my expectations to put me first rather than his parents. I don't even bring it up anymore. His parents have always been kind to me, but they also don't see any problem. So I think I'm going crazy? Am I the a-hole here? Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Not the a-hole. Your husband is a fool if he goes. This is your first baby. You do not know if the baby will be here early, on time, or late. His family is you and the baby. If his family can't see that, that's another issue. None of them have a crystal ball and know when that baby is coming. Personally, I would also be pointing out how quickly things can go wrong for mom or bubs during labor. I'm disgusted with him for thinking this is okay to leave his vulnerable wife during that time. You just don't know what's going to happen. And what's with not wanting to spend Christmas with you? Leaving you completely alone. Not cool. I'm furious for you. Where are you? I will come and take care of you. Your husband's a fool. Thankfully, it's her fiancé. No paperwork involved yet. I'd be looking for a lawyer to handle child support and a parenting arrangement. I'm sure she can make a few calls while he's away. Hate to be all Reddit about this, but this would be a reason for me to dump him immediately. He's going to leave his heavily pregnant partner alone at Christmas because his family really wants him to be at their yearly holiday? He's such an a-hole, and a terrible partner and father to boot, for even suggesting this, let alone fighting her on this. He's going to be hard to co-parent with, but maybe he won't even fight for custody? Oh, he's going to fight for at least partial custody. How else can he cart the kid around to his family events and play the sorry single father? This is so unforgivable. Even the fighting leading up to the trip is enough in my opinion. So unforgivable. I don't see how he could possibly be a good partner or father based on the fact that he sees nothing wrong with this and is arguing with her about it. If it wasn't for the health risks, OP is absolutely not selfish for not wanting to be alone on Christmas. And it's insane she'd think so. I hope she tells her friends, because if I was one of them, I would absolutely be making her a part of my family Christmas. Now for the update number 1. I'm sorry for not updating sooner. Everything has been overwhelming and I'm trying to deal with a lot. The good news is that my mom arrived home yesterday. When I had explained everything to her, her sister, who is a retired nurse, insisted she come too. I'm so thankful to have them here. It's hard to get my feelings across as there's a bit of cultural barrier. My mom is from Hong Kong, and without getting into details, the grandparent situation was very much an emergency. But she has siblings and my dad who is staying there at the moment. As for my fiancé, I scheduled a virtual appointment with him and my OBGYN to update her and told her this whole situation. Like all of you, she was appalled and strongly recommended he not travel during this time. Her words were, "In my professional opinion, I'm going to very strongly recommend you reconsider your plans. In my personal opinion, I'm going to insist it." It was probably on me for not alerting her sooner about his travel plans. After that, he is still going but adjusting his date so he will be back on the 22nd. There will be 1 day overlap with his siblings. His mom isn't too happy he won't be there for Christmas. She suggested he fly back later on the 25th instead, so he can spend a part of Christmas Day with them, but he said no. It's still not ideal for me. My mom and aunt has insisted to speak with his parents, so we've scheduled a call with them later today. I reached out to my best friend too about this, after I read some of your responses and PMs. She was livid and informed her husband that she doesn't care if it's on Christmas Day. If I go into labor, she will drop everything and be there. She's also been kept up to date about who will be with me while he is away and will be visiting. I know there were a lot of questions regarding the family, but I can't address all of them. It's too much to write out. Yes, I know they don't treat me completely as family. There have always been small passive-aggressive things that bothered me, like not being invited to Mother's/Father's Day events, left out of family secret Santa, not being allowed to sleep in the same room when we visit, etc. Yes, I know that his mother must be aware that he shouldn't be leaving me at 37 weeks. She's not dumb, and I update her after all my appointments, so I know she knows this too. I don't know why she's saying it's okay, but I have an idea why. My mom has made it clear she will be addressing all of this in a call. Some of you wondered how they can afford to go to Florida for a month. His parents worked hard and snowbird there. His siblings and sister-in-law all have 9-to-5 jobs, but are partly remote, so they're lucky enough to take their work to Florida and work there. My fiancé is a gig worker, so he dictates his own schedule. Obviously, their schedules don't always line. I haven't shown him this thread yet. At the moment, it's just one more thing I don't want to deal with him. I may in the future, but I have suggested we go to therapy before we set a wedding date. He agreed. I'm also seeking counseling for myself. Lastly, I'm incredibly grateful to all of you who took time to respond, offered to visit me and bring me food. I've never posted on Reddit before, but I appreciate the support you've all shown me. Once again, thank you all so much. I'll try to update again after the baby comes. It might be a while, but please know that I'm safe and have lots of love surrounding me. Please have a safe and happy holidays. Also, I'm expecting a girl. Now for the second update. Happy holidays, everyone. I know some of you were asking for an update, so here it goes. Baby girl was born on December 20th at 6 pounds 10 ounces at 9:42 p.m. My mom, aunt, and best friend were there during labor. My mom was present during birth. She's healthy and we're all exhausted, but I'm so grateful for my support system. My now ex-fiancé did not make it for the birth. During the video call with his mother, my mom told her that he needs to come back immediately. Otherwise, she will be taking me home and they will not be welcome to visit the baby. It was a very heated call, but the outcome was that my mom and aunt packed up my things and we went back to my parents' house where I currently am still residing. So, you can guess what happened there. It hurt a lot. I had a very upsetting call with him about his priorities now that we were literally down to the wire, and the conversation ended without much resolution. He hung up on me. I messaged him after our daughter was born to let him know I had given birth and that she was healthy. I tried to video call a lot after that, but I didn't pick up. He returned home on the 22nd as planned. Of course, I wasn't at a condo. I think they all thought my mom was bluffing. He tried to come by my parents' house many times, and at one point, sat outside in his car for hours when my mom and aunt wouldn't let him in. Finally, on Christmas Day, we let him see his daughter, and he and I discussed our future. My mom and aunt have been very vocal about breaking off the engagement, and I agreed that after the call with his parents, I didn't want to be involved with a family who was so selfish. He told me his mother was very insistent to go on this trip, to show his family that he wanted to mend his relationships with them, and that his sister-in-law had been saying some awful things about me to him and his parents. I told her some things in confidence a couple years ago about some issues I was having with him, and she turned it around on me. This was the nail in the coffin. I can't possibly marry into a family this toxic. So as it stands now, I have broken off the engagement and will live at my parents' house. We have scheduled couples therapy and our first session is tomorrow. He has apologized profusely and asked to stay with me to help with his daughter. My mom doesn't want him sleeping here, so he's been coming by in the morning to help with her and then leaving in the evening. His parents have told him that they would like to see our daughter as soon as they come back, and he has video chatted with them once to show our daughter to them. That's basically where we stand now. And undoubtedly the situation will get more complicated once his parents come back, but I can't think about that right now. My baby girl is healthy and has a nursery set up in my childhood bedroom. She's surrounded by people who would give her the world. My aunt, who I haven't seen since I was 10, is here. Those are the positive things I'm focusing on. Last story. Update. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife I would choose my mom over the birth of our baby? Original post. So, to get started, I am 36 male and my wife is 33 female. We are expecting our first child soon. My mother, who is 70, was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and has been hospitalized since it is so bad doctors say she will not survive since treatments aren't working well on her. My dad died when I was young, and my mom took care of me while working 2 jobs so that I could have a good life. I feel I owe everything to my mother. I bought her a house and whatever she needed so that she could live her older years well, since we had to struggle so much. When I got home from work and visiting my mom, my wife and I were talking and she asked if you got a call that I was in labor or your mom was going to die, who would you pick? I told her I would pick my mom. She asked why, and I told her that I wanted to be there to say goodbye to my mom since I would never see her again, and so she would have somebody there in her final moments. She got mad and said, what about her and our baby? I told her I would try to be there as fast as I could after my mom, but that most likely wouldn't happen, so I told her not to worry about it. She was still mad and told me to get out of the house. I left, and now I'm at my mom's house. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Edit, to everyone saying that I would be leaving her alone, no, I wouldn't. She would have her mom there. She has said she wanted her mom there with her. Yes, I was right for leaving my house. It was either I leave or she go, and I was not about to put my pregnant wife out of our house. Yes, I have been there for her. I've taken off work to comfort and help her in any way she needs during this pregnancy. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not a-hole. Stupid question. Yes, there is absolutely no way to win there, because the intent wasn't to actually plan for the contingency, which would have been smart by the way. So not a-hole. She somehow heard you care more about others than you and your baby, when the situations can't be compared. If you make up, you should actually have a plan with someone to take your place with them and video call if it happens. And also talk to your future pediatrician about how to be safe in letting your baby meet his or her grandma as soon as possible in a safe way. Getting professional photos of them together and all of you as a family would be worth looking into. Your kid will definitely appreciate them when they are grown up. Honestly, why did she even ask that type of question? It's impossible to answer a question like that. She's such an a-hole to even ask him to choose between his dying mother and his pregnant wife. My wife is a loving, intelligent, rational, and considerate woman. But pregnancy can easily turn someone into an estrogen Molotov cocktail. Giving OP his wife the benefit of the doubt, I'd say it's likely that has caught him so off guard, because this is completely out of left field for her to say, and is just super confused. I guarantee that my wife would understand if we role-played this scenario. That doesn't mean she'd have the same reaction when she had 6 gallons of extra hormones and a little alien kicking her in the lungs. Estrogen Molotov cocktail is right, lol. My normal self had probably be making a contingency plan in OP's wife's place. While pregnant, I'm not sure I would have been so rational about it. The idea of giving birth alone is scary. I can't fault either of them here. It's a really difficult situation. No a-holes here. Your wife is probably scared. I almost died in labor, as did our child. It isn't as clear-cut as deathbed trumps new birth, because childbirth can be a deathbed too. Have a clear, laid-out plan with a backup as well, in case option 1 is busy or out of town, so that she knows she isn't alone. Make sure you are always contactable. Your mother might be totally unconscious at the end, so you can still be on the phone with your wife while she's in labor, even while her mom or whomever is with her. Decide on options. Make sure everybody involved knows exactly what is happening. Make sure your mom knows what is happening. She might not want you there. Not everyone does. She might be appalled that you'd pick her over the birth of your child. And update them as time gets closer. Feelings change, especially those of your mother. She might get scared and change her mind. I will never forget the moment standing between 2 tables, one with my wife excessively bleeding after an emergency C-section, the other with my son coming out not breathing, still waiting to hear a cry, realizing I may very well be returning home by myself to take care of our daughter. Still getting choked up just writing that out. Thank God they're both okay, and my silly healthy 2-year-old son woke me up at 6 a.m. on New Year's Day. Mini update. I keep getting the same question about why did I leave my house even though I may own the house. It was late, and I didn't want my pregnant wife out late at night, but she told me to leave, so I knew it was either me or her. 2. My mother is in the hospital. She is not at her house. 3. I thought a lot about what a lot of you said about how I should put her first, but she doesn't put me first at all. She chooses her sisters over me all the time. 4th, I do not make her feel second. I have put my wife first, especially in emergencies, and I have tried my best to comfort her. I have gone home, and now I'm thinking I don't need to apologize, y'all. I really don't know. Thanks to everyone who's commented. Now for the full update. Hello again, people of Reddit. Some of you asked for an update, so here it is. I went back home yesterday afternoon. She wasn't there, and I assumed she was at her mom's house. She came back in the evening, and we had a talk about what happened. She did apologize for asking the question, and that when she thought about it, and she understood my answer because she would do the same. I asked her why she asked, and she said she didn't know and thought I was going to pick her since I normally do. I kinda just said okay and moved on. I did tell her I want marriage counseling after or even before the baby's born. She asked why. I told her how I felt and she denied it, so I had to give her proof. Then she started crying and got mad and told me to sleep in the guest room instead of kicking me out. So I guess I got a win there. Anyways, she also told me that she no longer wanted me in the delivery room, which I was fine with. I understand to an extent where it's coming from. I will go into therapy, which was suggested, and I think I do need it. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for the advice you all gave. Some good and bad advice. I'm sorry if my comments came off as mean. I'm not really a friendly person till you know me, especially if you're accusing me of something. Edit. Y'all, the proof I showed her was messages of when she said she felt unimportant and when I felt unimportant. I would never, and I mean never, show her anything on here. She would have a mental breakdown. So she got mad at the suggestion of marriage counseling and put you on a couch? Am I reading that right? If so, my guy, you've got a lifetime of marital problems ahead of you. Hopefully you get a good therapist who can help you learn how to handle how ridiculously unreasonable your wife is. She's still not done with you, and now she's punishing you by not allowing you to attend the birth of your own child. She's got it bad. Attacking him for his feelings makes her a genuine piece of crap.